3D printing, or rapid prototyping, is an additive technology where a three-dimensional object is created by laying down successive layers. The development of this technology was in 1984, when Chuck Hull, later the co-founder of 3D Systems, invented stereolithography. In 1992, the first stereolithographic apparatus was produced, proving that complex parts could be manufactured overnight. Since then, advances in industries such as manufacturing, automation, and medicine have been made due to the 3D printer. An example of how 3D printing has evolved occurred in 2002, when scientists created a functioning miniature kidney. The main purpose of 3D printing today is for creating prototypes. Many businesses that manufacture goods, such as toy companies, will use 3D printers to create a new model for a toy they may have a desire to mass produce. Before 3D printers, artists needed to sculpt these models out of clay with inaccurate measurements. This took weeks to accomplish, but using 3D printing technology, this process is cut down from weeks to days and is accomplished with far greater accuracy. Computer-aided design software, or CAD software, is a system used to create digital models. 3D modeling software such as SolidWorks and digital sculpting software such as ZBrush are the two main divisions of CAD. SolidWorks is more commonly used in the manufacturing industry for linear models such as engine parts, and it allows the user to draw the part component by component. It also has precise measurement options, allowing quick and easy changes in design. ZBrush is much more organic, as the user is able to mold and shape the digital material much as a sculptor would. It uses pixel technology to keep track of measurements. While it is less precise than SolidWorks, it allows for greater creativity and uniqueness.
My name is Leon Valerie, and I'd like to take a moment to talk about who is using 3D printing technology. For years of being in the shadows, 3D printing technology, also known as additive manufacturing, is emerging as an industry all its own. Two companies leading the way are Stratasys and 3D Systems. Other companies like Disney, GE Aviation, Orange County Choppers, and many others are all using 3D printing technology to aid in the manufacturing of parts and products.
Let's take a look at some of these companies. Two of the largest manufacturers of 3D printers and materials are Stratasys and 3D Systems. 3D printers made by both companies are used throughout the industry, as they become industry leaders in 3D printing. Disney is currently using 3D printing technology to create expressive eyes for interactive characters and toys. Another example of companies using 3D printing technology is Orange County Choppers, makers of custom motorcycles. They used the Fortis 3D printer by Stratasys to create a custom dragon bike for a client in China. 3D printing technology is not only being used by manufacturing companies. In fact, companies like Amazon and Staples are making 3D printers accessible to the general consumer. Other companies like Cubify and MakerBot offer online communities and online learning for people interested in 3D printing. Our group was able to talk with industrial designer Joe Massaby, owner of Breadbox Studios, a toy design and invention company. We received an inside look on just how he uses 3D printing technology.
Though 3D printing is not new, the idea of what it can do in the future would bring anyone into a frenzy of excitement and awe. One of the biggest areas that 3D printing will have would be in medicine, specifically with human implants. Scientists are currently experimenting with living cells as a possible material to be used by 3D printers. The idea is that the body part that is needed by the patient would be scanned into a computer, and then the 3D printer will start printing layers of the patient's own cells until you have the organ needed. By using the patient's cells, you're reducing the risk of the body rejecting the new organ because you are using stem cells, which can take the form of any other cells in the body. You can theoretically print out an indefinite number of organs because you could grow an indefinite number of stem cells. This means we would be able to save thousands of patients who are in dire need of organ transplants. Of course, this is still only in the experimental phase and is not yet available for clinical uses. We could also see advancements in the entertainment industry. The toy and robotics company Wobbleworks are in the process of producing a compact and portable 3D printer in the form of a pen. Inventors Peter Delworth and Max Bogue have designed and created 3D Doodler, the world's first 3D printing pen. With a 3D Doodler, you can do everything a 3D printer can without all the software and knowledge needed to operate it. With this device, people will literally be able to see their words and ideas jump off the page. The device uses a quick setting plastic that solidifies on the spot, which means you can create your own model of the Eiffel Tower. All you need to do is use the 3D Doodler and trace the drawing of the tower 4 times, and then put the parts together. Unfortunately, the device is only able to use plastic for now. However, in the future, I predict Wobbleworks will expand on this idea and make it able to use the same type of material as a 3D printer.
There are several legal issues with 3D printing. One issue is protecting intellectual property, which is enforced by trademark, copyright, and patent laws. 3D printing allows a user to scan an item and reproduce it, at a fraction of the cost of traditional fabrication techniques. While laws make doing so illegal, intellectual property owners fear users will ignore the laws and create items without compensating the owner. Another issue is the demonstrated ability to use a 3D printer to create a gun. Being able to manufacture a gun with a relatively low-cost 3D printer allows the creator to bypass background checks and registration. Depending on the medium the gun is printed with, it could be undetectable by metal detectors. Chemical printers in the future could be used to produce illegal drugs, black market medication, or chemical weapons such as ricin or chlorine gas. There are also ethical issues with 3D printing. 3D tissue printing, also referred to as bioprinting or tissue engineering, for example, uses bioink, which is made of human cells to print human tissue. The debate of how these cells are harvested has been ongoing in the medical community for years. While 3D printing has come a long way in the last 29 years, it's a rapidly expanding technology with the potential to be a game changer for everyone.